Hey, you 6.C2.L3 percent proportion. Take it away, Mrs. Benoit.
Hi, we're going to talk about percent proportion, like Mr. Romanovich just said today. And our target is for you to be able to feel that you can solve problems involving percents using proportions. Problems like these at the bottom here, you can look at briefly what percent of 25 is 20, what number is 5% of 60, and 84 is 75% of what number. Those three, by the end of this video, you should be able to solve. So we're going to quickly review and go back in our minds to last unit and think about what a proportion was. And a proportion is two equivalent ratios set up. So whatever units you were comparing, like last unit we would talk about gallons per container or miles per hour, and you would have them miles on top, hour on the bottom, use cross product to then solve for the unknown. So the same idea is going to apply to percents here. We're going to set up percent proportions. And this right here is the key to help you solve these problems. Every time you set up one of these proportions, you're going to be looking at a part out of a whole. So if they give you numbers, you'll be looking at a portion of the number out of the whole number. And then that's always going to be equal to the percent part of the proportion, which is your percentage, over 100. And it's over 100 because percent is out of 100. So this right here is what you're going to use as your guide to set up and solve all of these problems that we look at in this lesson here. So our first example says, what percent of 15 is 9? First of all, decide what you're looking for. The question says, what percent? So percent is what we're looking for. That's our unknown. So when you set up your proportion, it might help to start by filling in that unknown with the variable. Percent goes on the top right always, so I'm just going to use X for that. And percent is always out of 100, so that 100 is always going to be in the bottom right there. That's never going to be anything but 100 down there. So we already have one side of our proportion filled out. Now let's look at the rest of the problem. Of 15 is 9. Well, we need our part and our whole. And to determine that, we're going to say that the bigger number represents our whole, so that's going to be our 15. And the part that we're talking about is 9 out of the 15. So that goes where part goes. Now we have our proportion set up, and we're going to use cross product again, like in last unit, to help us solve for our unknown, which is our percent. So you would do 9 times 100, and that's going to be 900. And 15 times x. That's 15x. Remember, this takes us to a one-step equation. You have multiplication, so you're going to divide both sides by 15 to solve. And we will continue to let you use a calculator of some sort for these computations. So you would do 900 divided by 15, and that equals 60. Now you have to go back to the problem. Since it said what percent, we are looking for percent, so the correct answer here would be 60%. Make sure if it's the percent you're looking for that you put that onto your answer. Here's another type of problem you might see. What number is 40% of 120? Okay, so at this time, what we're looking for is what number, and that's going to be on the left side of our percent proportion. Well, when we're saying what number is 40% of 120, that 120 is our total, so the number we're looking for then is our part, okay? And our percent is given right here, 40%, so you can put that in place of the percent sign, and 100 always goes underneath the percent because percent's out of 100. So we have x over 120 equals 40 over 100. We're going to use cross product again. 120 times 40, and we'll do that here, is 4,800. And that's going to be equal to 100 times x, which is 100x. Becomes a one-step equation. So you're going to divide both sides by 100. x is going to be equal to 48. Now in this case, we are looking for what number is 40% of 120, so we don't have to add a percent sign here. This is just our part. This is a number. So your answer would be 48. The last kind of problem that you might see is something like this. 18 is 25% of what number? Okay, so again, we're looking for the what number. Now, is that our part or our whole? Well, 18 is going to represent our part here, and our whole we're going to use as our unknown. We've got our percent again, which is 25, and what goes underneath the 25? What is percent out of? Percent is out of 100, so you put your 100 there. Again, it comes down to cross product, so you're going to cross multiply 18 times 100, 1,800. And 25 times x is 25x. A one-step equation again. Divide both sides by 25. And let's see what we got. 1,800 divided by 25. 72. X is equal to 72. We're looking for a number, our whole, so we just leave it as 72. We don't have to add a percent sign there. Okay, so now we're going to have you give it a try and do 3 similar problems to the ones that I showed you today. And let's see if you can hit our target. The 3 problems that you're going to try are listed here, and they were in the beginning too. What percent of 25 is 20? So you're looking for percent there. What number is 5% of 60? You're looking for the part there. And 84 is 75% of what number? You're looking for the whole there. If you have any questions, you can rewatch the video, and good luck.